What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Shining Fire, and today we have another deck profiling. This is my Black Rose deck. It's basically a Kiza's deck. So, yeah. I just wanted to let you guys know that this is getting pretty close, pretty good, and I'm going to try to get 2 videos out tomorrow, if I can, because I am off work tomorrow, and I will try my hardest to do so. But if I can't, don't shoot the messenger, okay, guys? But anyways, let's dive in. Alright, so first off, of course, for a Black Rose deck, we of course need 3 Black Rose Dragons. Hold on. See if I can get this to adjust. This deck is built around Black Rose Dragon because it's the main card you're going to use to summon, bring back. Basically, it's going to be your ultimate trump card. It's your ace in the hole for this deck. Another synchro we have in this deck is Splendid Rose. Good for offense as well as defense. And it's not only good for making a second attack on your opponent, but that's only if you banish a plant type monster in your graveyard. And even though its attack would be cut in half, it still would be good against most monsters, even with 1100 attack. Next up we have is 3 Dark Rose Fairy. These are going to be your get me cards. What I mean by get me is basically as you can read from the card effect, you can basically send 1 card from your hand. If a Tunamon's on your field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Use this effect if this card's in the graveyard. Send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard, and either choose whether to put this at the top or bottom of your deck. I would most likely go with the top. Now here are your main setup cards. Your main tuner monster that you will love and always have on the field if you need it, because that would be Red Rose Dragon. Reason why I say 3 in here, because this is your main tuner monster you want. So you can special summon out Black Rose Dragon in a heartbeat, because with its effect you're automatically allowed to summon another Rose Dragon. So you can summon out Blue Rose Dragon or White Rose Dragon and instantly synchro summon Black Rose. So not only that, you can also add the trap and spell cards, Blooming of the Darkest Rose or the Frozen Rose spell card. I do not have the Frozen Rose spell card in this deck because I do not have it yet, guys. I'm working on trying to get it to add to this deck. But for the meantime, this is still your main tuner monster you want on the field. You'll see why, because next up we have 3 Blue Rose Dragons. Now, Blue Rose is your main monster to have on the field with Red Rose, because when it's destroyed on the field, if you already have a Black Rose Dragon in the graveyard, then you can automatically bring the second one back from the graveyard using Blue Rose Dragon's effect, because when it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can automatically summon a Black Rose Dragon or another plant type monster. So this comes in handy. And of course, the last dragon we'll have in this deck, 3 of a kind, is the White Rose Dragon. Reason why I say this is one of the other cards you want to use for tuning is because it's also a level 4. But here's another reason. If you have Red Rose Dragon, you can summon out White Rose Dragon, and with White Rose Dragon, even if it's normal summon, you can special summon another Rose Dragon card like Blue Rose Dragon. It also has 2 other effects, say if you have a plant or another Rose Dragon on the field, you can automatically special summon this from your hand. Or if it's used for synchro, which it will be, always. You can send a level 4 or higher monster from your deck to your graveyard, which will come in handy, especially if that monster happens to be Blue Rose Dragon. Like I said, those three are your main heart, bread and butter for this deck. Then we have two Witch of the Black Rose. It's a tuna monster. You want it for its effect. Since most of this deck is pretty much a decent amount of good monsters in here to synchro summon with, there's a, I want to say, 30% chance that you'll get a monster card when you use its effect. And that's a pretty high effect considering there's only 60 cards. And I'm doing about 60% for the whole card deck, because the entire 60 card deck that I've made with this, I say 30 because there's about 30 monster cards in this deck. So odds are you'll definitely either get a monster card on the draw that you summon Black Rose, Witch of the Black Rose, because you're allowed to summon it. If it's not, it's destroyed. But it doesn't matter, because you can still try with, again, Red Rose, White Rose, Blue Rose, and you can still play your odds on factors. Next up we have 3 Evil Thorns. This monster is basically used for, the first one is basically used to do its ability, and which is dealing 300 damage to your opponent, and then summoning out these two, both in defense mode, and then that way you're able to use them for synchro summon later, or for defense on the first turn. Next we have is Twilight Rose Knight, which is another tuna monster. When he's summoned, you can automatically special summon a level 4 or lower plant type monster, which will come in handy for, say, if you have a different monster like, I don't know, Rose Fairy. Because with that, you can automatically synchro summon out Black Rose Dragon. This deck is, like I said, is mainly to bring out Black Rose Dragon no matter what. Black Rose is your main ace for this deck. Then up next, we have Copy Plant. You want to use this card to copy your opponent's monster's level. The reason why? Because when you're using it, it can be helpful to get Black Rose out sooner, faster, especially with all the different levels that monsters that we have in here. Most of them are level 4. So if your opponent has a level 3 monster on the field, you can instantly summon Black Rose Dragon. And this is the monster I was talking about, Rose Fairy. Three of her in this deck. And the reason why I say Rose Fairy is because she goes with Witch of the Black Forest. Because of her effect. If it's added to your hand, guess what? You can special summon it. So, again, its effect is useful to bring out Black Rose. Wall of Ivy, good for an awesome defense as well as using it against your opponent to create Ivy tokens. You want to do that because you can also inflict damage when they're destroyed. Again, this deck is built around dealing damage as quick, fast, and possible, along with trying to get Black Rose out fast, hard, easy. Revival Rose is in this deck because if there's a level 5 or higher plant type monster from that is destroyed, basically Black Rose or Splendid Rose, you can summon it out into the field, bring out a level 3 tuna monster like Copy Plant, change its level to level 3 somehow, and then boom, bada bang, bring out another Black Rose. Sorry guys, as if I'm going through. This deck is pretty much self-explanatory, but I have to go through it because some of the combinations are a little bit odds are ends kind of neat. But this Dark Verger is a very good card to have in here, especially if you have a tuna monster in the field, because it's automatically summoned from your graveyard. Well, I should say special summon. And the last monster we have in here is Glow Up Bulb. Reason why I put Glow Up Bulb in here is if it's in your graveyard, all you gotta do is send the top card of your deck to the graveyard and you can special summon it out. That's basically all it's there for. It's basically like, hey, I need a quick defense shield. Send the top card of my deck to the graveyard, special summon out Glow Up Bulb in defense mode. Or use it to summon Black Rose if you can. To be honest, guys, the only reason why I put Glow Up Bulb is in there is to basically use as a shield. Next up, we go to our spells. We have 3 Black Gardens, and I'll tell you why. Not only is it good for making Rose tokens that will eventually help you in the end, having at least 3 Rose tokens allows you to summon out Black Rose Dragon from your graveyard when this card is destroyed. That's actually very helpful to you, considering the Rose tokens cannot be destroyed by battle so long as this field spell is up. There is nothing better than having it. And I will say this, guys, for that spell to work, you really need to really crunch the numbers on whether or not it's useful to play right then and there, because if you fill up your field with monsters, you're basically going to send your opponent into a death trap. Like if you're sending out Red Rose Dragon, then you summon White Rose Dragon, you got 2 tokens on their field. With 800 defense, it cannot be destroyed. 800 attack and defense. That's good for you because now you can just instantly attack them, deal some damage to your opponent, and still summon out Black Rose Dragon. Next up, Mark of the Rose. This is a card you're going to use a lot because, like I said, it's quick and easy to get Black Rose out, but you have to have the right combo at the right time. And this deck is mainly built to quick summon. But if you don't have the right cards in your hand, but you have this will help you buy time. And by buy time, I mean keep your opponent's monster close and your enemies closer. Because by removing a plant monster from your graveyard, you're able to take control of one of your opponent's monsters. Like, say they have Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field. Take control of it. Now you're in command of it. Unless they have loaded D. Then you're pretty much useless. Thorn of Malice. This will only equip onto Black Rose. Now, this is a card you want to equip to Black Rose immediately. Because no matter what, it not only gains 600 attack, but any monster that it battles cannot be destroyed, and they lose 600 attack, making your monster able to destroy it and deal damage constantly. Next up we have is Vengeful Servant. This goes with Mark of the Rose. When it returns to your opponent's monster returns, it will then immediately inflict damage equal to its original attack to the new controller. Now, it's also a double-edged sword with Vengeful Servant because, like I said, Mark of the Rose sends it to your side when it's your turn. And that will in turn deal damage to you. So, unless you get rid of it real quick, or they get rid of it, it will be a very quick death match on who will last who. Next up is Seed Cannon. This is basically to deal damage. Get 5, you can deal an instant 2,500 damage to your opponent. That's pretty good. The only reason why I put 1 in there is because we need to make room for the World Tree. This will help you basically bring out a plant type monster from your graveyard if you have 3 or more counters on it. It'll gain 400 attack for 1, destroy a card on the field for 2, and like I said, bring a monster back from the graveyard for 3. So, camera tilted. Sorry guys, I had to save the camera. Next up is Miracle Fertilizer. Sorry guys, I had to readjust myself after that little... Ugh. Miracle Fertilizer is good for one reason only. You can bring out Glow Bulb or another plant type monster that you could really use to synchro summon with. Either way, it's good to use, good to have on the field, and it's just basically good if you need a quick summon. Now, as for this card, Fragrance Storm. This is basically if you already have Glow Bulb on the field and it hasn't been destroyed, you want to destroy it just so you can draw a card. Do it, because if it's a monster, you can reveal it, draw one more card. That will be good for you, because if it's Red Rose Dragon and then you get Blue Rose, instant summon, or White Rose, doesn't matter. Now this card will definitely come in handy if you need it. Germ Infection. As long as it's not a machine type monster you're going up against, you can instantly make your monster, the high level monsters that your opponent probably has on the field, weaker every turn by 300. Not bad. Next up we have is MST, Mystical Space Typhoon. Good for instantly getting a trap that is really starting to annoy you. But this is the ultimate King of Storms. Heavy Storm is one of my favorite cards to use because instantly clears the field of any cards your opponent might have, as well as any cards that you don't need right then and there. Next up we have is 3 Blooming of the Darkest Rose. This will instantly summon Rose tokens, guys. Like I said before, Rose tokens are what you need, especially if you have the field spell. Sorry, I couldn't think of the name at the second. But anyways, this will summon a monster to any. This will summon a Rose token to any place on the field, of the field zone, that is empty. So that's an instant win for you. Its second effect is another good effect that you might want to use. You banish a Black Rose Dragon or a plant type monster, and you can place this on the bottom or the top of your deck. At the end of the turn, Black Rose or the plant type monster you sent away comes back. Bada bing, bada boom. You can reuse this over and over again. It's an instant card combo. Now, 2 Ivy Shackles. Why? Because you want your opponent's monsters to be plant type monsters if need be. Reason why I say if need be, because this is a gamble for you, like Wall of Ivy. If your monster is a plant type monster, you can do some serious damage. This also will help you do some major damage. Blossom Bombardment, 3 of them. Why? Because when a plant type monster sends one of your opponent's monsters to the grave, it can instantly inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's attack in the graveyard. Wicked Rebirth, good for bringing Black Rose back to the field and really setting up the playing field. Overdoom Line, good for bringing back one of your plant type monsters and instantly making it stronger. Do not wait till the second standby phase or second end phase, because it will destroy it. You're basically using this to help you set your lineup for another Black Rose Dragon. Plant Food Chain. Either way, you win. Because if it's equipped, the monster gains 500. If it's destroyed while being equipped, you can special summon a plant type monster, aka Blue Rose Dragon. So when it's destroyed, bada bing, Black Rose Dragon, ta-da! Instant 3-way destruction. Now, here we go with Doppelganger. Reason why I chose Doppelganger for this deck is if you're taking damage from an effect, then your opponent's trying to deal you effect damage constantly, this deck will deal them the same amount, so you'll be safe for if they try to keep doing it. And the fact that you have 3 of them is in case they get rid of one of them. If they get rid of all 3, oh well. Trap Hole, because you're going to need a safeguard. There's really nothing else I could say about that. It's basically your scapegoat. High level monster, you got nothing but spell or traps in your hands. You can't do nothing. You got Trap Hole. Bada bing. He summons a high level monster. Bang. Trap Hole. It's gone. Your worst nightmare has been averted. You have a chance once again to bring yourself back. So that's pretty much it for the deck profiling, guys, for this deck. I got and thank you for the person who sent me, who left the comment about me getting sleeves for my cards. I have some on the way, some special card sleeves. I'm going to be putting some of the decks in. I have a lot of decks, guys, so not all of them are sleeves. So I'm sorry if the ones that you're seeing right now aren't sleeve, but there are a lot of cards, guys, and I have practically almost an entire shelf or closet full of them, filled with multiple decks for profiling, upgrading, adapting, and all that. But I do appreciate the comment. I just can't remember the name. Awesome J. Oh, I can't remember that last part, man. I'm sorry. But thank you, bro. I appreciate all your support by sending me that comment. I know they're like $7 for like colorful ones, but I want sleeves that will, you know, have a like background where you can see like Jaden, Yugioh, or Yusei, Jack, someone, you know, something that will, you know, kick. Like I ordered some Sword Art Online sleeves that I bought off of Amazon. Cheap, good, and they'll fit cards like this easier than those cheap $7 card sleeves that will just bend real easily. The plastic will literally just bend, and that will be it. You can't really use them. The $7 ones are pretty much cheap, man. I hate to say it, but they may protect cards, but they're just too bent. They're just too easily bent. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a like. You know, like the video. If you guys want to see, tomorrow's going to be another deck profiling, because right now I have nothing I can unbox, because right now I'm waiting on some stuff to arrive. Basically some card sleeve boxes to open up. Oh, not card sleeves. Card packs boxes to arrive. Some I've ordered off of different websites because they're cheaper there, and I figured it'd be easier. But for now, thank you guys again so much. If you guys are not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Click that bell icon to let me know when to let you guys know when I upload a video. And as always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. And I know I've said that a couple of times now, but thank you so much. And be sure to live it up. Bye.